Hey Mischa, this is your Snatch analysis from one of your lifts today during the 1 rep max Snatch strength segment. So let's watch it full speed first. Alright, so my initial thoughts are it's a pretty decent snatch. I think we can change your start position a bit to put you in better positions throughout the rest of the lift. I also think that your hips, you're kind of throwing your hips into the barbell so that it moves in that direction as opposed to this direction. But let's take a closer look at the lift and see what we can find here. Alright, so let's get to the start of your lift. Okay, cool. So this is your setup position. It's pretty good. Your eyes are up. Your back is pretty straight. I think you can engage that a little bit more. It looks like there's kind of like it looks like your lower back is pretty loose, I guess. I don't know how to say that. Not super engaged. So you don't want your back hyperextended or rounded at all anywhere. You're trying to like really straighten it out, put a lot of tension in your back because it's going to be supporting a lot of weight throughout this. Until the hang position, it needs to be super engaged so that it doesn't move at all. You're trying to keep your back angle consistent till past your knee minimally. So I think you can do that a bit better. But I'm glad your eyes are up. Everything else is looking pretty good here. You could maybe raise your hips a tiny bit. Something to experiment with. I always encourage people to experiment with hip movement. I do that quite frequently. So give that a go. See how you like it. I think you could raise them a little bit and it would benefit you. The biggest thing to fix here on your start position is it looks to me like the weight is distributed mostly in your heels in your start position, which is an issue because well, it causes a few things, but it makes it hard to I guess get back into your hamstrings better since you're already back, so it's hard to really get your knees out of the way. So I would really strongly encourage you, if you can. It's hard to see here, obviously, because the bumper plate's in the way. But the weight should be on the ball of your foot, on the back of the ball of your foot. If you want to think about being able to slide a piece of paper underneath the heel of your shoe, that's another thing that we use a lot as a cue, kind of, to try and get people in the right position. But that's a big thing that will really set you up very well for the rest of the lift, allowing you to get your knees out of the way and get you back enough into your heels in the hang position that your hamstrings will be engaged. So that would be the first thing to work on. Draw a line on your back angle here and a vertical line. So the magic rule of Olympic lifting is you never want to cross that vertical line. That would just mean that the barbell's got too far away from you. We're also going to check out the consistency of your back angle. So actually this, where your back has moved to quickly, here is really an awesome, that's where I would like to see your hips in a start position. So if that's something you do consistently where your back gets to this angle and then holds, which it does pretty decently. Anyways, this position is what I would really like your hips to look like in the start position. Definitely something to experiment with. You gotta let me know how that works. Let's check out your hang position here. So as we can see, you're at the hang position. It's decently similar to your start position, but as we saw, there's a pretty good amount of movement in that small amount of space. So I'm gonna try and minimize how much your back angle's changing. Overall, for a hang position, this is decent. It looks like the weight is ideally in the hang. The weight would be in your heels. And your foot is flat-footed here, which is good. You're not jumping early. I think you could, we can see here by the angle on your shin that that basically you're not super deep in your heels, so your hamstrings aren't super engaged. This here is what I'm looking at. Ideally, your shin would be vertical in the hang position. So that would set up your hamstrings to be super engaged, ready to get involved in the lift. Overall, not a bad hang position though. It can be improved, but not bad. So I think this is going to be the big issue, is you're throwing your hips that way. So as we can see here, you're really kind of throwing your hips into the barbell out and away. So you have a lot of hip power here clearly, but you're letting the barbell get really far away from you. So when you're in the hang position, from that point you want to kind of like slip your knees under the barbell and jump vertically, as opposed to throwing your hip into the barbell like this. Another big thing is to keep the barbell close to you is really think about that scarecrow kind of position that a lot of people talk about in the snatch. Really got to keep that barbell in tight. This is incredibly far away from you. It looks like there's just a slight bend in your elbows, so really got to rein that in here. Also, as a result of being kind of forward at the hang position, you are jumping forward because you're getting pulled forward by the barbell being pulled forward, or moving forward. So you've moved in front of that vertical line. The barbell is still in front of you, as we can see here. The barbell is way in front of your midline, which is right here. So it's cool that you made this lift. That means you're strong enough to do a lot more, because it really did get it pretty far away from you. So yeah, definitely experiment with that start position, and really, again, I couldn't tell with the bumper plate in the way, but if you are setting up deep in your heels in the start position, I would encourage you to move forward. Get that back angle consistent. Make sure you're in your heels in the hang position, and then really think about jumping vertically. So from the hang, slip your knees back under the barbell and jump vertically, as opposed to throwing your hip into the barbell, and keep it super close. So there's definitely some things to work on, but you know, it is a pretty good snatch. You should be snatching a lot more soon. Good luck. Here's one more full speed look at it.